What do you think of the parents that kick their kids out as soon as they have turned 18 years old? Brother was out before 18 and I was out at 18, and my dad didn't even have a funeral. Should tell you about all you need to know about parents who kick their kids out ASAP. I'm not even sure if my father is alive, or peep. I could probably find out, but I really don't care enough to check. Every year around Christmas I will get an email from a new email address because I blocked the one from the year before. It usually has a line or two about how he misses me and thinks about me every day, followed by several pages of paragraphs filled mostly with Mormon scripture and readings about how evil it is for a child to ignore/disrespect their father, especially a son. He did send me a surprise one when I graduated nursing school asking me why I didn't go to medical school. He never went to college, by the way. Funny, he never mentions anything about abusing me, my siblings, or my mother. Or about how he has been married 11 times and now lives alone in a veteran's home. Haven't seen him since I was 20 and I am about to be 36, doing okay without him, I think. I can't imagine having to deal with that. My dad lost a place to live at his parents' house for the summer his last year of college, and luckily my mom's parents let him stay in their basement. From what my parents told me, my dad was devastated by this. My parents' rule was we would have a place to stay without paying rent as long as we were in school or after we graduated while we were getting our first job. I really appreciated their support and not needing to worry about housing during the summers while I was in college. We'll be doing the same with my 3 kids. Boomer parent here. Our 2 sons were welcome to live at home as long as they wanted, as long as they were going to school and or working. My oldest is 31 and married. He lived at home for 9 months after he graduated from college, then moved in with his now wife after she finished school. Our younger son is 27. He flunked out of college, spun his wheels for a bit and got sidetracked by the pandemic. He got off his butt, went to community college, got his associates and was just offered a full-time job with benefits. He'll probably be out within the next 3 months. We have no regrets. I was 17, a semester away from graduating. My evangelical parents found some weed in my brother's room. I woke up early on a school morning to the sound of my father angrily throwing mine and my brother's things out of the house and out into the yard. He and I spent the next 5 years homeless, at best sleeping on a friend's floor, at worst sleeping on concrete sidewalks exposed to the elements, and the worst in people. I'm 34 now and off the streets almost a decade now. But it forever changed the course of my life for the worse, and worst of all, my brother was never able to recover. He took his life almost a year ago. My parents divorced for a second time about a year after kicking us out. My father almost immediately remarried. I later found out that he had put his stepson through college and paid his rent while we were eating out of dumpsters. That was probably the most painful thing I ever had to absorb and internalize. I think some people are even potentially able to self-sustain in that situation, albeit a very small percentage. But to shelter your kids completely and not give them the skills to survive and then abandon them is abuse in my eyes. Great candidates for a nursing home in their later years. I wonder how many parents realize their relationship with their kids is somewhat quid pro quo. It feels a bit sociopathic of me to say. But take care of your kids and invest in their futures and lives, rewarding in itself, yes, but ultimately, one day, you're gonna be old and unable to wipe your own ass, and if your kid hates you, he's not going to do it. Hell, I love my parents, but I still am not looking forward to those times. My parents are foster parents. They're my bio parents, but they've been doing foster care all my 30 years of life, and they don't kick out the foster kids when they turn 18. When Children's Aid stops supporting them, usually at 18, my parents step up and help the kids until they can comfortably move out or until they want to. They have a 25-year-old still living with them because she fears abandonment, and my parents don't want her to leave. LOL. They love each other. My parents helped out over 20 kids throughout my life to try to become successful human beings. No matter how long it takes, many of them are still in contact with us. We took them in and loved them. How can parents who raised their own children kick them out just because they reached adult status? I just don't get it. LOL. I went to school with some people like that, immediately kicked out at 18. How can they expect to continue their education when they now have to immediately start making enough for food and shelter, inevitably? Most got married and divorced or at least pregnant young too. Now 20 years later the ones I'm friends with on Facebook are continuing the vicious cycle by kicking their kids out at 18, come on bro. Give them a chance, and you complain your family doesn't have generational wealth, this is why.